Negative beliefs, they can be so frustrating. You don't want to have them, but they just don't seem to go away.
Welcome to Coffee Time with Brenda and Mary. What are we talking about today?
Well, you know how we go. We just go with the flow.
Okay, then let's go. Welcome to Coffee Time with Brenda and Mary. Today we're talking about negative beliefs. Those things that run through our mind that really send us maybe sometimes into a spiral, right? Like we think about all kinds of negative things that can happen, and most of the time they never do.
Exactly. And when you're in them, it's really hard to get out of them.
For sure. And my family makes fun of me that I'm Pollyanna. I'm a little bit more enthusiastic and optimistic and positive. And so they're always making fun of me for not being sometimes as negative as they are. So what is that about? And how can I help other people or even help myself stay up and positive?
And I think that's why I get along so well with you, Mary, is because you have more of a positive disposition than people who are more negative.
But I do still have those negative beliefs that walk through my head and make me feel certain ways. So how can we help identify what those negative beliefs are? Like, because sometimes I don't know why I'm feeling so low, and it's hard to go backwards and think about what was I thinking that made me feel like this.
I would almost want to go back to understanding why negative beliefs exist or how they exist and how our minds work. So very briefly, and I know we've spoken about this before, but negative beliefs, it's a consciousness and it knows how the human brain works. And a negative belief first latches on to our survival instinct.
That's so interesting you say that, because somebody once said to me, like thousands of years ago, it was more important for us to know which cave the lion lived in than where the flowers grew.
Absolutely.
So our brains were more in tuned to where the lion lived. It was because we had to survive the lion.
That's right.
And the flowers growing, the beauty, the stuff of Mother Nature wasn't as important to our survival.
Exactly. So our survival instincts wants us to survive, and it's found a loophole in there that kind of puts us in survival mode, and you have no choice. If you don't do this, you're going to die. Ultimately, because of that, it's running through our system, it's very hard to break a negative belief. Negative beliefs also use these tricks. How many times do you think that you have no choice? You're kind of stuck in this like gloom and doom and you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Now, you have a nice disposition. You can see the positive. But even those negative thoughts that come through, and I'll give you an example of, many, think of just anyone that you know.
Well, is that like that little voice inside your head? So people talk about that little voice inside my head told me this.
Yeah.
So it's that little voice inside my head that tells me I'm not good enough. Or I'm not smart enough, or I can't do something that I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's that little voice inside my head is what is the negative belief. Is
That's
that right?
right. Yep. And it's talking and it keeps telling you, and you're like, no, I can do this. And then it says, oh, go and try. And then watch you fail. Right now you only have doubt that you can't do it. But if you try it and you fail, then you're going to know. So it's better to stay in doubt. Or if perhaps a really great opportunity comes to you, then that negative belief might say, oh no, that's not a good option. That is actually going to do something bad to you if you do it. So then, I'm going to stay in my negative belief.
Yeah. So that's like negative self-talk. Is that another word that people call?
Yeah,
so it's kind of the same thing.
Self-sabotage. All those words are negative belief patterns, and we're kind of stuck in them. Some people have this unwavering worry about their children. If it's not this child, they're worrying about that child. They're not worrying about that child, and they're making up stuff in some cases. But it's just that propagation of a negative belief pattern.
That your children can't survive without you.
Yeah, or that they're in danger, or they're going to get sick, and we're actually creating worry out of nothing, right? So there's many different negative beliefs out there.
Yeah, I'm getting anxiety just talking about this subject.
When you bring a negative belief to light, and sometimes it's hard to bring it, like some people say, I don't even know what my negative beliefs are. Every feeling we had is linked to a belief. If you're feeling happy, you are linked to a belief that you're safe and things are doing well and you have all is good. And if I have a negative belief, well, like let's say a feeling of being sad. Well, why am I sad? Well, maybe it's a negative belief that I'm alone in this world and no one loves me. That's not true. I'm not alone in this world. I'm loved. Mary loves me. God loves me. My children love me, and whatever it is. So that's, and then I think to myself, why would I have this negative belief? It's not true. But to me, in my subconscious, and that nagging thing when I'm sad, I'm stuck in that negative belief, and it feels so true.
Well, it feels so real.
Feels so real.
Yeah, and it's hard to talk yourself out of it. So how can we get out of it when we are in that bit of a spiral?
So the one thing I would like you to know is that negative beliefs act like tricksters. There is an arsenal of tricks they can use. They can make you feel paranoid. They can lie to you, making a great opportunity look bad. They feel like you have no choice. They feel like that if the negative belief dies, you're going to die because it's attached to your survival instinct.
Yeah.
But no matter where you are in a negative belief, always know there is a pathway out. It's like, imagine you're in this dark room. There's a crack in the door of light. And that's your higher self asking you to be brave and move through the negative belief to break it. Now, a lot of people say, I don't want to try it. Or sometimes they even hide that door so you don't even see the crack. But no, there's always a way out. In every negative choice and every negative pattern or belief, there's always the choice to choose something positive. Just like when you're in a positive belief, we always have to choose to choose something negative.
Right.
It's the duality that we all have.
Yeah.
So, one, you always have a choice to choose something different. Next, when you have a feeling and you trace it back to a negative belief, what are you going to do about it then? You know, I'm sad. I got this negative belief. What can you do then?
I have no idea.
Say
You're going to tell us.
to yourself, is this logical? Does this make sense? I know I'm loved. Having this negative belief I'm not loved or I'm insignificant or I'm unworthy or undeserving, those negative beliefs really don't make sense. So if you start in this new energy, if you start to look at your negative beliefs and say, this makes no sense, it's illogical, and I'm done with it,
Yeah.
that is almost enough to break it. And when I say almost enough, it works if you have the right negative belief. But some people will do that process and say, Brenda, I did the process, I'm still having the negative belief. That means your sad feeling isn't connected to that negative belief. It's not that you're alone. Maybe it's that you're unworthy. So try it with unworthy. Try it with I'm insignificant. Try it with I'm unwanted. Try it with different negative beliefs because every negative belief has its own energy to it. But when you hit that right resonance of the energy, then you can dissolve it.
Boy, that sounds like hard work.
Actually, I thought it sounded simple.
Oh, really? I feel like some of those negative beliefs are really anxiety provoking for a lot of people, and I feel like they're really hidden. I feel like a lot of people can talk about things that scare them or cause them anxiety, but the ones that you just mentioned, those examples of I feel unworthy, I feel unloved, those are really hard for people to connect to.
So the trick to breaking a negative belief is A, you have to be committed to doing the work. B, look really inside and what makes you tick.
Yeah.
You and I, we do lots of work on each other.
Yeah.
But when something comes up, I go, why did that come up? What am I thinking? How did that... I love dissecting my mind and how and what makes me tick. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, when I think of some people in my life, like, there's just not going to spend any energy there. So is there a quick fix to any of this negative belief stuff that doesn't feel like such a job?
I'm going to say maybe not a quick fix.
Yeah.
There's no magic wand. Our human brains are what they are. There's work in any way you decide to go through it. We can get help. We definitely can.
Yeah.
You can say affirmations that counteract beliefs, right? So if I feel sad, you can say, I feel happy, I'm deserving, things like that. Over time, that will work. You can go have a session to break negative beliefs, just bring in what you constantly keep talking about. But sometimes when we're working through something like that, the person has to be open to really work with somebody to talk about their negative and be open, and that vulnerability can be scary.
Yeah.
And the negative belief within people can make them resistant to get help. Because you remember how I said that there's a crack out there to help you get out? Well, maybe that pathway is getting help. Perhaps maybe with me, maybe with someone else, someone to help them open up, do some energy work, whatever it is. But what happens is the negative belief will play tricks, and it will make that option look so scary.
Yeah, the reason I ask about the quick fix is because you did do a session with me related to negative beliefs, and I was kind of shocked at what came up. Like some of those negative beliefs, I'm like, really? I believe that? Like, I didn't even know. It wasn't anywhere part of what I was thinking about myself that I thought. And they came up. And so that's why I'm thinking, so you do this kind of work, but that's not it. It's not enough to go to a session with you, but there's work I got to do outside.
The thing is, the reason it was easy with Mary to do the work that we did is Mary's done so much work with her, and she's not scared to look within her. She wants to better herself. But if you are open and you want to better yourself, then yes, it can be a quick fix as we go through a process to figure out what negative beliefs are. But when I think about somebody who's new to this, and they just know they're in panic and worry all the time, sometimes asking them to look within is way too scary. But in those cases, we can give them other work to pull off some layers, maybe do an energy session where they just get to relax while we actually go in and release blocks. But so what I would say is everybody is unique. I meet people where they're at. So I met Mary where she's at, and she's there, and she says, oh, it was easy. Yeah, because you've done so much work.
Okay.
Right? Not to say someone who's just getting into this can't break the negative beliefs. It can be done. Because when you're ready, you're ready. When you have enough and you're just done and you're frustrated with your constant patterns, perhaps the constant negative belief is to do with relationships. And you're picking up another bad boyfriend, another bad boyfriend, another bad boyfriend. When does he get to the point where that's enough?
Exactly.
When you've hit that point, reach out to me.
So this is just really a way to grow some peace and happiness in your life by looking at negative beliefs that are sometimes running on cruise control in your brain, and you don't even know that they're there. So we're challenging you to explore what are your negative beliefs. Connect with Brenda at www.sobrilliant.ca, and she can help you for sure.
Yeah, and we'll figure out what's hiding there, because that's all the fun, and I love doing that stuff. Thanks, Mary. You are amazing.
We'll see you soon, everybody. Let's be amazing together.
Thank you for joining us.
If you have any questions or comments, visit us at sobrilliant.ca.
Sending you lots of love and light. Until next time.